So I just got back from The Irishman this past weekend, and holy fuck. The movie is an absolute just tour de force. It is truly just an ensemble achievement unlike any other. I mean, you got the boys. The boys are back in town. You got Al Pacino. You got Joe Pesci. You got Robert De Niro. You even got fucking Ray Romano in there. Why do you need Ray Romano? Who gives a fuck? Everybody loves Raymond, am I right? Like, I'm gonna just go straight forward in this review, kinda. Like, I saw this in theater. I saw this in theater this past weekend. Just yesterday, in fact. And just holy shit. Like, words are indescribable. When I left the theater, this is a 3.5-hour movie. When I left the theater, I was simply in awe of the master class of Scorsese. I mean, you know, I had seen, obviously, the most essential movies from him by this point. But for him to pull off something this grandiose, I would say this daring even, to go back to those grassroots of just gangster movies, you know, the mobster films of Goodfellas, Casino, you know. Those movies are such a timeless piece of cinema. For him to somehow recapture that magic, to bring it back, roll it back into a nice little fucking Play-Doh ball here, and just, you know, like, create a perfect sphere of just every aspect of film. It was something. When I left the theater, I was trying to assess it. I was trying to, you know, make sense. Like, okay, I'm not just, you know, high off the adrenaline of seeing this fucking movie in theater. I don't want to be the guy to, you know, hype it up or anything. I don't want to be that motherfucker. No. I tried to keep a level head. Me and my friend had went and saw it. You know, on the drive back home, we were discussing it. And, you know, we stopped for gas and I was thinking, I don't know how I can rank this movie. Like, it's almost impossible to put on a numerical value on it. You know, usually I can easily give, you know, some things, you know, like, let's say, for example, I gave Outlaw King a 7 out of 10, you know. Yeah, good film, you know. Competent acting all across the board, you know. Not an intense, like, must-see, but a good, you know, good film. A 7 out of 10, that's good, that's great. This is a lot harder. You have that runtime, but I don't want to have that runtime go against it, because I feel like that's ridiculous. You know, if something feels the need to do 3.5 hours, then go right ahead. I will say, though, if I wasn't in theater, I imagine I'd be getting up, getting something to eat every, you know, like 40 minutes or something. But that's me. But I also imagine that may be other people. But besides that runtime, what you got, you don't have anything flashy or, you know, nothing as flashy as, like, The Wolf of Wall Street, for example. You have it's very low-key. Everything is very low-key in what it displays to you. And, you know, you have Joe Pesci. You got all the boys are back in town. The boys are back. You know, I can't stress that enough. You're going into this, you're like, oh, fuck, Joe Pesci. I love Joe Pesci. Goodfellas, he was so crazy in that. No. Joe Pesci his performance, I think, is better than all the rest, not for the reasons you think. It is a lot more subtle. Like when Joe Pesci is saying to Robert De Niro, Frank, the character he plays, you know, you gotta tell him it is what it is. You're like, ah, fuck, Joe. Joe, no. No, because you know he's gonna fucking have Frank kill a motherfucker. You know, like when he says like these real subtle lines and he gives him this glance, you know, in that moment, the fucking tension is set and you see Frank being like, ah, fuck, you're gonna make me kill somebody, aren't you? Yeah, you're gonna make me fuck. Alright, I'll go kill him for you, Russell. Fuck it.
I know how you feel, Frank. Trust me, I know how you feel. We'll bring you back after you get your car.
Yeah.
I'll go kill him for you, Joe. You know, and you're like, fucking shit. Yeah. You're really just like, Joe, please, no. And it's the moments like that, like when you know, like, there's this tension, there's this, it's this drawn out, I want to say drawn out, this sort of just very long conversation, and then you get to the meat of the matter slowly. You sort of, you know, get to the like why they're having dinner, you know, why they're really having this conversation, you know. And it's just Joe Pesci. I want to go back to Joe Pesci here, while I'm still on the sort of topic of subtlety, because he is the most just menacing sort of character. He isn't outright violent. He isn't the sort of cartoonishly violent character that he has sort of played before. You know, not to knock his acting for those roles in Goodfellas or, you know, Casino, but that's sort of like, you know, his shtick, I would say. What he's known for is sort of the loudmouth kind of, you know, badass. violent, brutal beast. But here he's in control. Joe Pesci is the leader. He is at the top. He is giving the orders this time around, and it's a breath of fresh air to just, you know, have him sort of play the more low key role. Going over to Frank, Robert De Niro's character, you know, you have Frank, you know. He's just a regular guy. He used to be a trucker, you know. He delivered meat, and then he gets involved in this, and you kind of see this character evolve over the course of the decades that is given. He starts with a family. He ends up divorcing his wife, you know, and sort of he's the thing is he does this stuff. He does the shit he does for his family, but by the end of it, you know, like. He's estranged. He doesn't have a family. The family he ended up having was his crime family. And, you know, ironically, he was more closer to them than his actual family. And you sort of see that it's the deconstruction of the gangster film, almost, I would say. Sort of, this is what it costs. It isn't all glitz and glamour. This isn't, you know, it isn't cool. Like, it isn't Henry Hill at the end of Goodfellas where he's like, fuck you, I got away with it kind of thing, you know. It's just a defeated man by the end of this story. He has lost everything. There's nothing left. And he's just living with that guilt of everything he's done. You know, let me go back here for a second because I'm getting ahead of myself once more, as usual. But going back, you know, he gets, as Frank does more stuff, he needs more money to support his newfound growing family. So he gets involved with Jimmy Hoffa, and that's Al Pacino's character. Al Pacino's character is also fucking great. He's loud, he's obnoxious, he's blunt. He's like every grandfather you know, like everyone has, like where they just say what's on their mind. They don't give much of a fuck because they're old. But the difference is, you know, Jimmy Hoffa is around fucking mobsters.
Can you believe this weather, Frank? Huh? It's 85 degrees outside. Perfect.
Hey, Tony J.
Good to see you, Jimmy. People freezing to death in New York, and look at us. Huh?
Hey.
Why we don't live here all year round is what I want to know.
Oh.
Beautiful.
It's summer.
What?
It's summer. People aren't freezing to death in New York. It's summer.
In my mind, it's always 8 degrees in New York. I'm making a point.
Making a point. Making a point dressing like that? Is that you dress for a meeting?
And this is how you dress in Florida? In a suit?
For a meeting? Anywhere. Florida, Timbuktu, I dress in a suit. For a meeting. And you're late.
What?
You're late.
And it was traffic.
Yeah, it's traffic.
Wasn't it traffic?
You give me
It was
traffic.
traffic. What do you want from us? It was bumper to bumper.
Yeah, no, it's bad, you know.
Traffic. I never waited for anyone who was late more than 10 minutes in my life.
I'd say 15. 15's right.
No, 10.
I don't think so. 10's not enough. You have to take traffic into account.
That's what I'm doing. I'm taking traffic into account. That's why it's 10.
I still say 15.
No, 10.
Fine, we disagree on that.
How about 12 and a half minutes?
There we go.
There you
12
go.
and a
It's a
half.
com-
Middle, right
it's
in the
a
middle.
compromise.
Beautiful,
Take it
beautiful.
down.
Yeah, more than 10 is saying something. You saying something to me?
I'm here.
Like, you know, he needs to kind of have that fucking, you know, awareness that he's involved in deeper shit bigger than he is, you know. But he thinks, you know, they're all nothing. They're like fucking shit under his heel, basically. That's the way he sees it, funnily enough, even knowing they're, you know, aiding him to a degree. And his character, you know, is just... you instantly get sort of the essence of this guy. Not through that first phone call, but afterwards, as Frank gets to know Jimmy Hoffa, Al Pacino's character, you see that this is a man that just is not going to take no for an answer. And all of that, you know, is sure to cause trouble, and you know it further down the line. If you know the story of, like, Jimmy Hoffa, if you know sort of that history already, then you're like, ah, fuck. No wonder he went fucking missing. It's a great film. I mean, it's nothing in your face. The moments of violence that you get are sort of this, they're quick. They're quick, instant. Just how it would be if, you know, you were a mobster. You know, it's not like you're going to have a huge shootout. No. There's maybe one kind of shootout-ish thing in the entire movie, and even then, it is fairly quick. It is boom, you know? Just like that. It is not flashy. It is subtle in almost every way, and I think it aids the film. I think, you know, when you get these sudden acts of violence from a character, it really hits, you know. And just God, it's a true tour de force. I can't say it enough in this. It's just truly an achievement, at least on sort of an end of an era for Scorsese. Like, being able to hit this home, you know, the de-aging effect, sort of, you know, risking that looking pretty shitty, but it ended up looking good. You know, it could have been really bad, but everything just sort of hits. The set design, there's not much in terms of cinematography. Nothing really sort of, there wasn't any shots that sort of made me go, ooh, that's good. But yeah, it is amazing. If you can, see this in theater. See it in theater. Go to the theater. It's worth the 3.5 hours, I'd say. You know, I mean, you're getting what you pay for with that ticket. 3.5 hours of entertainment for, what, a $10 ticket? Amazing. Just go see this film. I can't really give this a numerical score. It is kind of difficult. It is really difficult. It is upper echelon. I'll just say it's between an 8 and a 10. And yeah, go support this film. Go see it in a theater. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. If you like Scorsese, you're going to enjoy this. If you like a tense drama with a lot of tension in it, you know, go see this film. It is great. I can say that for sure. I may not be able to apply a numerical value to this film to give it an actual rating on a scale of 1 to 10, but I can say that it is fucking great. So, go see it.